Alright guys, this is my version of the Apter, I guess. It's a PVC version, and I use pressure fittings instead of the standard Schedule 40 PVC adapters or fittings. So this is the base. It's most of these concepts and changes came from Tom Hoffman. He's awesome. So this is basically a take on that. So this is the base plate of the device that we're going to be shooting this in a mortar position because it is the most accurate as proven by Tom. And the only cast fittings really are this piece here, this elbow, and this adapter for the meter, for the gauge rather, and another one right here. This is cast. The rest of it's PVC. What I have found is, of course, if you watched any of his videos, Tom's videos, replacing this ball valve with a butterfly is definitely the way to go. With having this piece here, this fill nozzle here, and using actually a bracket that's actually designed for a oh boy, what is it? It's a strike plate for a deadbolt is what it is. See, I know the lighting in this camera is terrible. So hang on, let me see if I can get a little closer to that. It's a strike plate, just bent. But what that does is it allows it to be extremely comfortable when you're holding it. And it pivots. It doesn't get any more accurate than that. I mean, when this thing is sitting on the ground and you're looking up the scope, it's about as good as it gets. This is a temporary thing for string right now using a jet set, and it pivots. This thing pivots, but I'm going to replace it with a reel because I'm just trying to save as much time managing the string, the pull line string and the climbing lines and everything. I'm trying to make better ways of doing things. Actually, I had taken the jet set and put it inside this Irwin 150 foot chalk line, and it works great. It holds 180 feet, so that's a quick way to rewind your line. Only thing is there has to be some kind of tension on this line because it does when you rewind it inside this spool. It has to be tight, otherwise it'll kink and get tangled if not. But it does work really well. Anyway, so when this piece is, let's see, it comes apart at the halfway point right here. I don't know if you can see that. This is terrible lighting. But anyway, let's put it here. Alright. Comes apart right here at the halfway point and unscrews. The total height of this is about, I'd say 5 feet. And I got that extra feet because if you guys remember, if you've seen the video that Tom did, he used a 1-inch, I believe, cast pipe at the beginning as this pressure chamber. I basically try to keep the volume the same, so I shrunk it by a foot, but increased the diameter 1.5. So I don't know the height. I'm going to check the height on this thing to see exactly what the height is when it's at 150 pounds of pressure, but I know it's way higher than I'll ever need it. So pressure gauge goes up to 300, but I haven't tested it past 150, and I'm not going to until I get some safety precautions going on and have the thing all by itself with me not around it. I can try pressurizing it about above 150, but I was told that these pressure fittings will hold the same pressure as the pipe itself, and if that's true, it's 330 pounds. So anyway, this is a BSA red dot sight, and you can see the Schrader valve is right here. And like I said, it's about the most comfortable position you can imagine to fire this thing. You got a really good grip. This is very comfortable. It's the perfect, and I got small hands, but it's the perfect grip to be able to pull this straight down while looking right into that sight. It's pretty good. I haven't honed in the sight yet though, and got that aimed properly. I just haven't had enough time on it, to be honest. Anyway, so this is made to be a foldable thing, but I'm going to get rid of this. This turns sideways for easier storage inside of a gun case or whatever. I'm not really sure what I'm going to do, but I think it's going to be changed over to a reel with some heavy duty pull line. And anyway, that's my idea, and it's so far so good. It's way better than the version that I made with cast. It's much lighter, and this gauge is kind of rare. It's let me put this down here for a sec. The gauge is obviously a bottom nipple instead of the typical side that they usually put the nipple on the side. This is a bottom one, so it shows straight up. Obviously, if it was a side mount, you could mount it right on the end of this fitting. Only problem is it seems to be more susceptible to getting broken. What I really wanted to do is put a 2-inch, glue a 2-inch piece of PVC over this. That would just protect it. Just like a dead-ended piece of PVC, it wouldn't actually be the air wouldn't actually go through it. It would act as a hood to protect it. But so far, so good. And the bottom, like I said, that's the end piece. You can see it's threaded. I'll go over this whole thing. And the Schrader valve. And the trigger mechanism. Like I said, it's very comfortable, very accurate too. Even without the sight being tuned, it's still pretty accurate. It's very comfortable, so that when you fire this thing, the movement of the trigger does not change the aim whatsoever. All right. Anyway, that's my take on the Aptor, I guess.